This week on The Splash, we look back at some of our favorite community stories. Then we enjoy old conversations with good friends. And later, we remember some of our own who have inspired us. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the Greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash. Welcome to The Splash. I'm your host, Sheena Monin, and as always, thank you for joining us. Today marks a special time for us here at Civic Center TV and for all of you, our friends in the community, as this is our 100th episode. We continue to enjoy serving our local communities by highlighting the events, people, and occasions that make our community healthy, family-focused, and strong. To start us off, let's take a look back at some of our favorite memories from the city where everyone knows their neighbor and calls them their friend as well, Keego Harbor.
Art Sale offers an inclusive community of support and collaboration for any artist looking to make connections.
People come together, people unite, there's like a unity there. You get to know your neighbor because I really didn't know. It's 1 square mile big. You should know everyone. Mm-hmm. You don't. So Art Sale is kind of a way to actually meet your neighbor, really meet.
We are Art Sale! Come join us! Woo!
The success of the Keego Harbor store recently led to an important event for people skate and snowboard. Ben and his company were awarded a $10,000 grant from Motor City Match to open a new skate shop within the city of Detroit.
It's a super lengthy process, but once you get through it, you can be rewarded with a grant. So we were, which was really cool to be an awardee. You get also like that affirmation that you know what you're doing.
As for the decision to open a new location in Motown,
there's such a well-developed, unbelievable skateboard scene that's been going on for many years, and we've been a part of it. I mean, we've worked with this organization, Community Push, which has built a park at the Wiggle Recreation Center, and in that process, we also donate skateboards. Skateboarders will use up their skateboards, but they aren't necessarily broken, so we'll take those skateboards or those pieces and kind of build setups for kids in Detroit.
Gino's pre-Dream Cruise car show offers up fun, entertainment, and something extra that makes showing a car so enjoyable.
Well, we do the best paint job, Gino's favorite, the show favorite. We used to have the best car to take to a drive-in movie, the best one to cruise Woodward on, just different things like that, But it's kind of like a fun thing, but we provide dash plaques for all the cars that show up.
With all the controversy that can arise with law enforcement, it's refreshing to encounter a city that views their officers a little bit differently.
In society today, where the communities are fighting against police, I think it's really a wonderful thing here that we have here in Keego, where the police is actually part of the community, and we actually love seeing them. The thing that we love about Keego is it's a walkable community. It's very personable. Everybody gets along and talks to people.
It started out as skate night, and that's when skating was popular. It's still popular, but we've taken a different twist. We've brought in other entertainment. We've brought in lots of food for the public. And what I think is the nicest is it's a family event.
And I just think it's exciting that Keego Harbor can put on this great event, and it was put on by a lot of people. So there was a lot of effort into it. So people that put on music, people that put on dance, people that got zip lines, someone's got that crazy train and face painting and good food, and it's a collaboration. And it shows that Keego Harbor can do these exciting things. We're putting Keego Harbor on the map, and it's a lot of fun.
Many thanks to the individuals and groups who have welcomed us into their lives and memorable events over the first 100 episodes. For more information, visit civiccentertv.com/best of Keego Harbor. The community of Orchard Lake has also offered us positive memories on the water, in the woods, and into our local history. Join us now as we see the ways that this community stays happy and helps others.
And they get a chance to see people maybe they haven't seen for a while, so that helps a lot too. It lifts the spirits. I hope that I have encouraged them and supported them enough to know that you can do whatever you want to and be healthy, but you have to make sure that you're eating right and being careful to do some of the physical activities so your blood can flow wonderful through your body.
You know, we're really excited to bring a maple sugaring program back to the historic campus of the Orchard Lake Schools.
I think they learned a little bit about a natural craft that they may not know anything about.
Children and parents from the Greater West Bloomfield area got a chance to peel back the pages of history to see how maple syrup was made.
This property goes back all the way to 1858, and we actually have quite a few maple trees here, some of which bear the scars of being tapped, hundreds of years ago.
Give people the opportunity to shop for unique, handmade, one-of-a-kind items and familiarize themselves with some of the local artists in the metro area. This is the first year of this show. St. Mary's has had art events in the past, about 10 years ago, and they're looking to revive some of the arts and culture.
For Karen, the mission to revive the local arts is a personal one.
I'm an artist. I've shown at Art Prize and won awards, so I just like to promote the arts and be involved with the arts and share the arts.
However, there are ways that you can protect yourself from many common crimes, such as larceny.
Larceny could happen anywhere. It could happen in parking lots. Theft could take place within any type of retail store. So those types of things happen pretty much all over all communities.
One of the most important elements of personal safety is keeping conscious of your surroundings, which is why Chief George urges residents to follow his triple A's of personal protection.
Very simply, I'm going to give you the triple A, which is to be aware, alert, and to avoid. Number one, awareness is all you have to do is watch the news each day, and you have a pretty good idea of the things that are going on. Although that may be more major, people are aware of larcenies, things that could be taking place. And then the next thing is to be alert. By alert, I mean you want to know what's going around you. You don't want to be walking, for instance, in a parking lot with your head down and straight ahead. You want to be able to look. You want to be able to move around your surroundings, certainly 180. So you have the first two. Well, if you see something that doesn't look right, then it makes sense to avoid it.
For more from the city of Orchard Lake Village, visit civiccentertv.com/best of Orchard Lake. Sylvan Lake, the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan, is always bustling with good times and strong community ties. Let's take a look at some of our favorite events and happenings from this special little city.
In order to make those improvements, a large number of houses had to be up on display for people to see. And this tour has no shortage of volunteers working towards it.
Well, the wonderful thing is that the homeowners volunteer their homes to be on the tour. And so far, we have had 69 different homes on the tour. And so they volunteer their homes so people can come in and see the inside of their home and also the outside. And we really appreciate that because people just love to see other people's homes and see how they live. In fact, many people have moved to Sylvan Lake because of coming on our home tour.
But in the very beginning, Sergeant Zook and I actually did a lot of the work here ourselves. We tore down the two chimneys that were in the main part of City Hall with sledgehammers and threw them all out in the dumpster and rented a saw and cut the hole in the wall for the new entrance in the basement and actually did a lot of the work in the basement.
With renovations finally complete, residents and employees are proud of the new professional look and layout changes within City Hall.
I love this city. I grew up here. I live in my dad's house. I couldn't think of a better reason to do the pig roast. Invite every household in Sylvan Lake, 800 plus houses. My grandpa lived in Sylvan, my dad lived in Sylvan, my dad was on council, my dad was mayor. I just want to give back and put together a nice little fundraiser. We're 70 years old. I want to plant 70 trees.
You know, we have people here with names and faces, and they recognize our customers and know their families, know their kids, know their yards.
And that personability has had a great impact in the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan, and on the store itself, one that owner Deborah Silver recognizes every day.
When I go through the neighborhood, I see more people gardening in pots. I see more garden plants in the ground. I see more awareness of how a garden can be satisfying to people and provide them some sense of serenity if they're, if their life is busy and frantic.
With an assortment of rides, exhibits, and shows, Sylvan Lakers dove headfirst into a weekend of fun times and community camaraderie.
This event just helps bring the community together in unity and just helps people get to know each other, which builds a stronger community.
Bringing the community closer, Family Fun Day has become a June tradition in Sylvan Lake.
We started this event back in 2006, and we've been doing it ever since.
Family ties are one of the things that keep our community together and growing. For more information, visit civiccentertv.com/best of Sylvan Lake. Still to come, we take a walk down memory lane in West Bloomfield, and then we enjoy some of our favorite questions and answers from Sidewalk Talk.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm your host, Sheena Monin. West Bloomfield hosts many wonderful events and fundraisers each year. Like all of our communities, its commitment to fellowship and service is boundless. Let's take a look back at some of our favorite moments from West Bloomfield.
The day before the nationally recognized Martin Luther King Day, members of local communities gathered at West Bloomfield High School for the annual United We Walk event. This event allows community members to come together and keep Dr. King's dream alive. Their goal is to remember what Dr. King taught and celebrate his accomplishments. At 3 o'clock, West Bloomfield Police blocked off a strip of Orchard Lake Road, and the group moved outside to march down the street as a symbol of unity against racism and hatred. The event also served as a canned food drive that supported Lighthouse of Oakland County.
Detroit was recently ranked one of the best cities in the country for pizza lovers. And how can you go wrong? Warm gooey cheese and a delicious crispy crust are a surefire way to steal pizza your heart. 2 local picks on Orchard Lake Road are a great place to get in on a slice of the action.
Biology is really a place for creativity and inspiration. We really pride ourselves in the fact that we're more than just a food place. We're here to give you a total experience.
Crispelli's is a locally owned company. We specialize in authentic thin crust pizzas. Almost all of it is made fresh in here every single day. Our sauce is made every single day. We get whole pepperoni in that we slice every single day. It's really fresh ingredients that we use.
And what they do is they sew up these quilts and put them together, knot them, and then put the binding on, and then they package them up and send them off to Lutheran World Relief. And it's an organization that actually goes out, and when there's disasters in the local area, they send out the quilt.
We probably made 7,000 quilts and sent to this because this was what they did. And when they started out, we had a group of 14 or 15 quilters and did about 4 quilts a week.
The competition got off to a great start, even with me sampling everything. But each of the chef's dishes were more than enough for our judges.
Well, it's such a crazy array of textures and flavors, and it's just a whole lot going on, and we're having a blast eating it. Yeah.
Both Chef Carlos from Farmington and Chef Ted from Waterford put up a great fight, but in the end, the winner was Chef Annabelle Cohen with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce.
The Lake Improvement Association of Pleasant Lake celebrated its 75th anniversary recently. On the shore of the lake, it's called home for nearly a century.
The community started as a group of individuals, families, who wanted a summer experience for their kids. And it is a very wonderful place to be. It's a quiet, pastoral scene. It's country in the middle of the city. And it's the kind of community where people reach out and help each other and stay connected in a variety of different ways.
It was a group of friends that wanted to raise their children and to have a country place and to be together for the summer season.
Taking a look back lets us see where we've been as a community and appreciate all the milestones that have been made. And we are proud to have played a role in those milestones. For more information, visit civiccentertv.com/best of West Bloomfield. Sidewalk Talk is the segment on our show where you, our friends and neighbors, get to tell us your thoughts on some funny and sometimes unusual topics. Here are some of our favorite questions and answers.
Hi, George Moore for Civic Center TV, and this is Sidewalk Talk. We're out here in the Greater West Bloomfield area, rain or shine, to find out things we want answers to. Why? Because we're nosy. Do you have an item, number one item on your bucket list?
I have a lot of items on my bucket list.
What's the top?
Really to just travel the world. Yeah.
Yes, to take my kids to Yosemite. That would be something we need to get in before they go off on their own.
Create a happy home for children.
All right.
I had a happy home as a child. I'd like to give that back.
I think skydiving. I know that's a pretty popular one, but I'd like to experience it at least once.
Oh, so you like doing the safe stuff, right?
That's how you describe it.
I think I'd like to go to a street luge somewhere.
That'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that be fun? Street luge? Everyone should do a street luge.
Yeah. Okay. Adventurous.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you have to give up one of these things for a week, taking a shower or bathing, or the internet. Which one would you want to give up and why?
Easily the internet. It's tragic. Like, I cannot go without bathing. Like, that's gross. That is so gross.
I could wait a week to take a shower or bath if I had to stay in the house and I could still use the internet because it's my lifeline. I do marketing, so I need to be online every day, all the time. So I'd just stay home for a week.
The internet, because you can't walk around stinking. That's ew.
I would give up the internet. I'm sorry. Like, I love the internet, but I like to be clean, so.
The internet, because you got to stay clean.
I'd love to hang out with Snoop Dogg. West Bloomfield, what celebrity would you like to spend some time with?
I would say Carl Edwards from NASCAR. I've met him a bunch of times going to NASCAR races. He's a really stand-up kind of guy, kind of a lot of fun.
I believe I would choose Harrison Ford. Number one, I love Star Wars, always have, but I'm probably aware that he would be really done with me if I asked him too many questions about that.
Probably Kourtney Kardashian, and because I love her kids and her, and I want to see her house.
I think it would have to be Jimmy Fallon because he's hilarious and he's a good guy.
We ask the people of the Greater West Bloomfield area the questions. We get the answers. Some great stuff out here. And we'll be looking forward to doing it out here again on the sidewalks of the Greater West Bloomfield area. For The Splash, I'm George Moore. Sidewalk Talk.
If you enjoy Sidewalk Talk as much as I do and would like to see some of our other fun and interesting questions on the show, you can do so by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com/sidewalktalk. And now it's time for our Civic Center event update, where we provide you with all the latest that's happening around Greater West Bloomfield. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all of the following current events yourself, you can visit civiccentertv.com/events. Let's get started. It's time again for Henry's Market on Main, running now until November 14th at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Anyone can participate in Henry's Market on Main, a great way to buy fresh, locally grown produce and other products. From 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, you can stop by to purchase fresh and healthy food, including baked goods, herbs, and more, as well as flowers and seedlings. Food samples will be available, as well as the hospital's specially invited chefs being on hand to demonstrate how to prepare healthy meals. This recurring event is free. For more information, contact Kelsey Bray at 248-325-0825. Marshbank Music 2.0 is taking place throughout the summer with an upcoming concert on July 11th from 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. at Marshbank Park. Bring your friends to this free event that features music from Valerie Baltimore and the Foundation of Funk, followed by Groove Council. Enjoy food from food trucks such as Grill Witch Tot Shop, Detroit Taco Factory, and Kona Ice. There will be a beer and wine tent on site as well. Bring a lawn chair or blanket or enjoy the music from inside the beer and wine tent. For more information, you can visit wbparks.org/marshbankmusic. If you or someone in your family has old or unused prescription medication stored or forgotten about in your home, then you could benefit from taking part in Operation Medicine Cabinet, an ongoing initiative supported by the West Bloomfield and Keego Harbor Police Departments. All you have to do is gather your outdated or excess prescription medication and bring it to the West Bloomfield Police Station anytime during the day or night, and also at Keego Harbor City Hall during limited hours, and deposit it anonymously into the secure receptacle in the lobby. For more information, visit civiccentertv.com/Operation Medicine Cabinet. Coming up on July 14th, stop by Marshbank Park from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. for Summer on the Bank, a new event that allows the entire family to participate in water and land activities. This free event features activities such as slip and slide and a water slide, a rock wall, paddle sports, and fishing, as well as live music and food trucks. Some activities are free, while others do have a small fee to participate. Be sure to bring a towel, cash, and swim attire. For more information, you can visit wbparks.org/SOTB. Saturday, July 14th from 2 to 3 p.m., you and your friends and family have the opportunity to play a high-energy, interactive game called Beat Shazam at the West Bloomfield Public Library. In this free game, teams will work together to guess some of the greatest musical song hits of all time. The team that wins will be named the Library Music Champion. Registration for this fun competition is required. You can find out more and register by visiting wblib.org. On Wednesday, July 18th from 10 a.m. until noon at the West Bloomfield Public Library, you or someone you know can join in on part or all of the educational series called Let's Talk, an ESL discussion group. Anyone learning English or who wants to become more proficient is invited to improve their skills during this ongoing English language discussion group. A tutor from the Oakland Literacy Council facilitates the conversation so you can leave with a better understanding of English and all of its complexities. For more information, you can call the library at 248-232-2290. The Chaldean Cultural Center Museum is open to the public on Fridays from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Come learn about this fascinating culture, complete with hands-on activities, multimedia presentations, and a showcasing of special artifacts from time periods gone by. Tours are available by appointment and cost $5 for a self-guided tour and $10 for a guided tour. To schedule your tour or find out more details, be sure to visit chaldeanculturalcenter.org. And that's all for now. However, if you're looking to find even more events going on in your neighborhood, then be sure to follow us at civiccentertv.com/events and look up our events calendar, or watch us here for more information on everything going on in the Greater West Bloomfield area. As we head into the break, stay tuned, because afterwards we'll be enjoying some of our most powerful and important Splash interviews.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything Greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Civic Center TV has gone social. Now it's easier than ever to watch, save, like, and share our videos online. See what's happening in your neighborhood, on the streets, and on the web at civiccentertv.com. Be a part of the conversation and get involved. We would love to hear from you. For links to our social media pages, visit us at our website or find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm your host, Sheena Manin. Bringing members of the community into our studio for good conversation is one of our favorite parts of making this show every week. Let's take a moment now to enjoy some of the most memorable and impactful interviews from our first 100 episodes.
But growing up, I was a soccer player, and all my buddies were football players. And so they were like, hey, you need to come play some football if you're tough. And so, but I was kicking in soccer, knew how to do that. So I dabbled in other positions, but kicking was what I was best at. So I did that, went to Washington State University, and then was drafted by Detroit.
And it's obvious, kicking is what you're best at. You mean, in your time with the Lions, you were not, like I mentioned, the highest scoring player on the team. But, I mean, most field goals of 40 or more yards, most consecutive field goals of 40 or more yards. I mean, most career game-winning field goals in overtime. You're tied with a couple other players. But you've become the first player in NFL history to score 2,000 points with one franchise. I mean, do you ever just look back on it and say, wow, I did all that? Or, you know, is it just, does it ever shock you? Like,
well, I mean, yeah, because when I was playing soccer and starting in football, I had no idea that I was ever going to play that long for an NFL team. And so, yeah, you kind of look back with amazement. You know, I just feel blessed to be able to do that. I came into the league, and you would see guys who had played for 5-6 years, and those were the old guys. You know, how do you play that long? And then, you know, after you play a decade, then you play another decade. And so it was a great ride. It was a lot of fun to play for Detroit.
The great thing is you're here today, and you're sharing your story, like you said. You have written books on it, and yeah.
And the reason I am sharing my story, not just here, but I hope we have a chance to talk about it. I speak all over, not just Michigan, but in other states too. I used my Holocaust experiences to promote tolerance and acceptance of diversity, because my life story is not just the darkest chapter of human history, but an example of what happened when a nation did not accept diversity, and what can happen unless we learn from it.
And a story that occurred right here in West Bloomfield was a little second grade girl, and she was in class, and they were doing this lesson. I used to think, and now I know. And so the teacher was verbally taking the boys and girls through that exercise. And a little boy said, I used to think that spiders were insects, and now I know that they're arachnids. And another little girl said, well, I used to not understand why I needed a comma or a period at the end of a sentence, and now I understand why I need to have that before I start my next sentence. And a little girl turned to her teacher and said, I used to think I'd go home on the weekend and be hungry, but now I know there'll be a bag of food in my locker on Fridays. At which point the teacher had to stop the lesson because she was in tears.
That's beautiful, absolutely.
It's very telling. And we really have no understanding, even though we think we do, of what it is to worry about where your next meal is coming from when you're 7 years old.
Current piece, I'm learning to make beveled pieces. So this is not thrown, this is constructed from slab. But one of the interesting things is these markings on the side that you can see are my fingerprints from when I hold it and dip it in the glaze. There, it feels like this. So I'll dip it in the glaze, and it creates those little marks from where my fingers are. So the mark of the hand of the potter is actually part of the glaze. And people can use them as pedestals for other things, But in general, most people just use them as art objects themselves. And in fact, I have little 2-inch cubes that people use like worry stones, and I can't make enough of them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's
Great.
fun.
So you would probably definitely recommend that people who are looking for a life career transition give art a try. It's definitely been fulfilling for you.
It's completely, it's re-energizing and really charges me up and gets me involved in the whole pottery community, which is quite large in Michigan. The Ceramics Association is the feeder into NCECA, which is their national chapter, which has about 10,000 potters meet every year. It's remarkable.
You brought the medal in today was how heavy it is.
Yep.
Like, it is massive.
Yeah, it's insane.
And
like,
you have to wear that thing around your neck sometimes, right? For photo ops and things?
Yeah, I do. I don't bring it out as much as most people would.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, it's way heavier. I definitely gained a couple new neck muscles, I'd have to say. But it's super cool. I mean, whenever I bring it out, people get so stoked, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, this is so crazy.
Well, I mean, it's a lifetime of effort that to get there, for sure. Now, you are back in the area, at least for a little while, before you go on and do more of your snowboarding career. Tell us what the reception has been like here in West Bloomfield and in Metro Detroit.
I mean, it's insane to come home and actually have people, like, recognize you and be like, you know, congratulations and stuff, and it's so cool, you know. Everyone around here has been so supportive of me, from like all my teachers back in grade school to like my parents, like especially my parents. Like, they've done so much for me in my life that it's just so cool to come home and, you know, have all this hype around me and like all these people that want to come out and, like, you know, say hi. I got like all my friends, little nephews and cousins, you know. Whenever I go hang out with them, like, oh, hold on, like, let me FaceTime my cousin real quick. They won't believe I'm with you right now, and like all these cool things. So it's just like it really blows me away and makes me so happy that, like, you know, that I've actually, like, motivated and kind of influenced kids to get into snowboarding. And
people realize just the severity of this situation. And since then, you have been all across the world, you know, promoting and letting people know of how important this is. So, I mean, that's commendable, and, you know, it's a lot of hard work, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, we haven't been hearing much about the Flint water crisis recently. So obviously the media's died down, and people think the problem's fixed, but it's not fixed. We are in our 3rd year in Flint where we cannot drink this water. So my kids in clinic, they turn on the tap and they cannot drink that water without a filter or using alternatives like bottled water. So we are very much still in the middle of this crisis. And, you know, Congress in D.C. has given $0 to Flint. So we have also, so I keep talking, and I will continue talking to everybody, because we have yet to really garner that support for our long-term recovery. Unlike a flood or a hurricane or another natural disaster, this is something we just can't clean up from. This is something that we may have to deal with for decades or generations. So we really need to keep talking about Flint so we can garner those resources to make sure our children not only recover but really thrive after this disaster.
Thank you again for being here, and thank you for doing all your hard work as well. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
Oh, once again, everybody, Dr. Mona, thank you for joining me today. But also, we just want to say, continue to look out for the Flint water crisis and help these people in Flint, because they still need the support and they still need this attention and all of our help. So please, everyone, continue to support them and keep them in your prayers.
You can watch the full interviews of these and other guests anytime and anywhere by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com. Every week on The Splash, we explore interesting local topics with experts in a variety of areas in our segments: Parenting on the Go, A Minute with Nature, and The Biz. Let's take a look at some of our favorite insights from some of our very favorite local experts.
So when you do learn an instrument, you are learning that physical coordination. You see that development in all kinds of students, young and old.
Learning how to play an instrument also improves academics.
A lot of it has to do with like planning and setting goals. If you know what you want to achieve with a music lesson, say you want to do a performance, you can set up goals and steps to get to that goal. So that's how that can help with education and improving grades in school. Also, it's very mathematical. So a lot of times you'll see a raise in mathematics, a raise in science grades specifically, but other areas as well because of the planning and because of the goal setting that takes place when you want to become a musician.
It's a HIIT training workout, which means we're going to bring your heart rate up, we're going to take it down, right? And that's going to offer more fat burning. But in addition to that piece, you're going to get strength components in that because you're hitting a 100-pound bag. But then just go back to the technique alone. Everything that you do comes from your core. So now you're isolating all of your core muscles. It's about 1,000 calorie burn if you care at all about that. And of course, it's lean muscle mass because, again, you're hitting that 100-pound bag.
And Kat explains that boxing is a great stress reliever along with many other added benefits.
Every punch is you're releasing all these negative toxins, and then with that you're taking endorphins and it's going to the brain. And there are a lot of studies out there that show that boxing actually is being used in lieu of depression medication.
Another thing we like to recommend is that parents shouldn't focus more on having more interactions with their children, but on the quality of those interactions, because that's how we build the best strength of character in each of our students.
That makes sense to me, definitely, to invest in your child with a good quality communication. But what about the relationship between the parents themselves? That can be a little tricky sometimes. And how does that influence the children who may be living at home?
So yeah, we say the most important things for parents to really think about when they're parenting is that they should present a united front and they should communicate well with their student. We understand that parents are different. You know, one parent might be better at listening, one might give better advice. But no matter what, whether married or divorced, they need to set clear expectations for their students.
Ask for help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all need it.
Of course,
we all
yeah.
need it. We are all running around. We have a lot to do. At some point in our lives, we always need help, and being able to ask for it. Some ways to ask for help would be West Bloomfield Youth Assistance.
Wonderful.
Yes. My own practice, Viewpoint, Psychology and Wellness. At your children's school, you can talk to the principals, the social workers, the teachers. There's many ways. If you need help, there's ways to get it, and you just have to ask for it.
Of course.
The animal ambassadors call the nature room their home. And we have 4 of them that live here. There's a red-eared slider, which is an aquatic turtle, an eastern black turtle, which is a terrestrial land turtle, an eastern tiger salamander, as well as an eastern American toad. All of those different animals, in order for us to have them here at our nature room, require a permit from the Department of Natural Resources. And the permit allows us to use them so that other people can meet them, engage with them, and learn about those animals. So we use them as an education animal or an animal ambassador.
You can also go to the Audubon website, and they have a great map where you can list your zip code and get native plant ideas for our area. Here in Michigan, some great, beautiful flowers that you'll enjoy in your garden, and so will all those pollinators like butterflies, are asters, coneflowers, milkweed, and black-eyed Susans. So I hope you plant some natives, attract some wildlife for you to view, but also help your environment. And that's your Minute with Nature.
To see more of these segments, visit us anytime at civiccentertv.com. Taking time to honor those who are volunteering, working hard for the well-being of our community, and providing a service to friends, family, neighbors, and even complete strangers is an important part of what we do here at Civic Center TV. Each week, we showcase the good works of the people in our community in a segment called Person of the Week. Join me in looking back at some of the 99 kind-hearted people who have made a lasting impact on so many lives over our first 100 episodes. As always, if you happen to know someone who is providing a service to their community, then let us know by sending an email to the splash at civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate those who are making a difference in our area, and we appreciate all of your suggestions. That's going to do it for us this week. On behalf of the reporters, the crew, and management of Civic Center TV, I'd like to thank you for joining us each and every Monday for The Splash. We look forward to just as much joy, positive energy, and community in our next 100 episodes. Remember, you can watch new episodes of The Splash every Monday at 5:30 p.m. or throughout the week for replays. You can also watch every episode online at civiccentertv.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook under Civic Center TV 15, YouTube at Civic Center TV 15, and on Twitter at Civic Center TV for more information. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Sheena Monin. Thank you for watching The Splash.